Hey, so I'm just gonna talk about the build a little bit, since I don't really see too many builds that are very similar. I'm using a staff, other people aren't using staffs. I'm using Occultist, other people aren't using Occultist. I'm using this thing, other people aren't doing that. I've got 2 copies of Vivinsect. This is a unique ring that reduces the mana cost of your skills by a flat amount based on how many corrupted items you have equipped. 2 of those, 5 corrupted items, that means I've got minus 20 to mana cost of skills. That means this costs no mana. That's really good for me because it means that I can run no regen maps no problem. Previously I was relying on a clarity ore to get the mana situated. Now I don't have to worry about mana at all, at least for this skill. Not for this skill either because of the battery staff. And something like this skill, I'm not really going to be spamming that, so it's not a problem. Other than that, Maryland's Fallacy, I wasn't using this originally, that was a mistake. It's an amazing amulet for this skill. The way it currently works, where every third hit's a guaranteed crit, this is just impossible to justify the exclusion of unless you've got some absolutely insane amulet. And even then, this is still probably going to be better in most cases. This is this hat with a lot of energy shield on it. This is a belt with a lot of energy shield on it. This is a pair of gloves. It's got the most energy shield among the unique gloves, and I had to get a unique pair of gloves because I wanted this curse on hit implicit so that my Profane Bloom would make everything explode. I also have max frenzy charges, and that's nice because I've got these pair of boots that make all of my minimum charges equal to my maximum charges as long as I'm not moving. And if I am moving, then it's not, but if the second that I stop moving, all my charges come back. And I only actually care about my charges when I'm dealing damage, and at the exact moment I'm dealing damage, am I moving or am I not moving? Well, I'm not moving. I can be teleporting around like crazy, but the times when I'm dealing damage, I am in fact stationary. Even when I'm teleporting around, guess what? I am very fast, but I'm not actually moving. So when Maven says, stand still, well, I do exactly that. I do not move, but I do change locations instantaneously. It is technically completely within her orders. Aside from that, I've got this battery staff. It's a really good one because it's got +5 to lightning spell skill level. This is got a lightning warp in it. That is for movement. Lightning warp's duration is reduced by 30% because of this helmet. It's reduced by 15% because I took window of opportunity. That means that it is in total 100% reduced because a level 21 lightning warp has 50% reduced duration, and with the 5 levels from this very staff, that becomes 55%. 55, 30, and 15. Put them all together, what do you get? 100% reduced duration. So this instantaneously teleports you as long as you have enough cast speed, and I have enough cast speed. It takes 0.22 seconds, so of course it's not truly instantaneous. You have to actually cast the spell, that takes 0.22 seconds. It's less if you have more cast speed. But it's pretty darn fast. This is a golem. This is a wrath in the battery staff. Here's wrath here. You might notice it's linked to a divine blessing. Now I know what you're thinking. Hold on. This wrath costs 926 mana. You only have 132 unreserved mana. How are you able to cast this wrath? Well, it's socketed in the battery staff, so it doesn't cost 926 mana, it costs 926 energy shield. And that means that I can use Wrath no problemo, and it's going to last for about 18 seconds every time I cast it. That's more than enough, because you don't really need that except for bosses anyhow. And it only takes, again, about 0.2 seconds to cast that. This is probably not great. I've got a Hydrosphere on it with Hex Touch Conductivity, and I've put an Arcane Surge on it, but look at this, it's a travesty. It takes 15 mana for a level 1 Arcane Surge. You can't go any lower than that. And Hydrosphere, it's costing 14 mana, because I've reduced so much of my mana costs. It's only costing 14 mana. It's hilarious, it's sad, and there's no real good fix here. I could take it out, but there's no point. I mean, maybe I could fit in a gem that does something, but I don't know what else I would put in anywhere. Could put faster casting, I guess, but what's the point? It's also pretty unfortunate that they changed this so that you could only hit it once every second, because it makes it very awkward trying to shock this when only 1 in 3 of your hits is going to apply any shock. Aside from that, Lightning Tendrils, of course, got Empower Support, Infused Channeling, Awakened Increased Area of Effect, Awakened Added Lightning Damage, and Awakened Controlled Destruction. This is a cast when damage in Mortal Call. I think that's pretty much everything. There's a Discipline in here, and Enlighten connected to Frostblink, Anomalous Zealotry, Anomalous Purity of Elements. So that's all the items and skill gems. Now I'll just quickly look over the tree and jewels. Nothing too adventurous here. It's going up, it's getting some cast speed, it's getting some lightning damage. I get to open chests. That also applies to strong boxes, by the way. This is very helpful. You'll see it later on. Cast speed, lightning res, spell damage. Here's some aura stuff, or more aura stuff. Here's CI. This is intelligence. This is energy shield. This is more energy shield. This is more energy shield. Those are their defensive nodes. I've also got another endurance charge here and a power charge there. This is a very important node. It gives me increased area of effect based on how many power charges I have. This is giving me 21% increased area of effect from my 21, or from my 7 power charges. This is 2 medium cluster jewels, both with area damage on them. This one has Titanic Swings, which is 20% damage, 15% AoE. This one is Vast Power, which is 20% damage and 21% AoE, up to a maximum of 50 across all of my Vast Powers. So 2 of them are Vast Power. The ones over here are also area jewels, but they do not have Vast Power, because this is a global cap of 50% maximum AoE gained from all of your Vast Powers combined. So I have 2 of them for a total of 42% increased AoE. Another one would only get me 8 more. So that's not good enough. This is a Forbidden Flesh and Flame. They together allocate Bastion of Elements. That means I can't take reflected damage, and it means I'm really tanky against any elemental hits. That's one reason I didn't really feel like it was necessary to do anything related to blocking stuff, because any hit-based elemental damage, you're just going to absorb that with your Aegis. There's no need to try and block it, and that's pretty luck-based anyhow. So instead, I just get tons of energy shield, and I delete 1/4 of the elemental damage that I take, and then I have a fat 2700 Aegis that stops that amount of energy elemental damage from hits. I also have some amount of armor, not a huge amount, but enough to block maybe a 1/6 of a Shaper Slam, which is not bad. Of course, I still die to Shaper Slams, but I don't die to Shaper Slams because I don't get hit by Shaper Slams. So that's the real defense there, the fact that I can move that fast. Just like that. Boom, boom. This Militant Faith allows me to use his Inner Conviction. This is giving me more spell damage based on how many power charges I have. This is 21% more damage, and the downside is that you don't gain Frenzy charges. But you don't need to gain Frenzy charges because this sets your minimum Frenzy charges equal to your maximum, so even without gaining Frenzy charges, you still have them. Lightning damage and Lightning Pen. This is power charge, and this is an anointed power charge. Might be actually better for this build to actually grab it natively. Then I can anoint this, and then instead of Impossible Escape, I can use a real jewel here and also here. But I need to map that out, see if that actually is any better. So I might make that change. This is also giving me Aura's increased effect, Aura's 8% damage for each of them, 3% damage per charge, and increased mana reservation efficiency. The two notables here are Prismatic Heart and Stormdrinker. It's the same on this side, and I don't have the Widespread Destruction allocated. So you may have noticed there's a bit of a lot of area of effect here. I've got 3% per power charge here, here, and here. I've got 15% here, 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 and here. And I've got 10% here and here. I've also got 6% per power charge here. So, you know, how much area of effect do I really have? Oh, it might surprise you. Well, first of all, it's not just the increased area of effect, but the increased levels on Lightning Tendrils means that this has plus 12 to radius. So a normal Lightning Tendrils in a completely new, fresh build is going to have a radius at level 20 of 29. That's the normal amount for a level 20 Lightning Tendrils. Fresh build, nothing else except for that Lightning Tendrils. AoE radius is 29. It's 22 at level 1. Now at 32, at level 32, that AoE radius becomes 34. But I don't just have 34 on this. I've got quite a bit of increased area of effect from the support gem, from the area jewels, from this thing over here, from the ascendancy passive. I think that's everything. I might be forgetting something. When you add it all up, to bring this back up, you get an AoE radius of 65. So let me just show my POB real quick. Here it is. I have here, this is just, it's on the stronger pulse setting, but not every hit's a stronger pulse. 2 out of 3 hits are weaker pulses. So I'll just type in real quick 66% less damage. So now this is the real DPS. It's 19.8 million DPS, more or less. I'm not going to make you add up 2 times this amount plus 1 times this amount and then divide by 3, but that's how you get the real DPS. But this one, the real DPS, is around 19.8 million. Although that is with this random shock effect. This could be any shock effect that I put in here. I could say it's 0% shock, that puts it at 15 million. I could put it at 50% shock, that puts it at 21.7 million. I have 80% increased effective shock. I'll check later on what I actually get as the shock amount on Uber bosses and put that in. But it doesn't really matter because I'm just checking the relative amounts of different pieces of equipment. What I want to draw your attention to is the amount of area of effect. I put that on over here. You can see this is what that looks like. It is 274% increased area of effect. I've got 7% from the weapon, got 56% from the support gem, I've got the rest of it from the tree. So the base radius is 34, square root of 3.74 times is 1.93 times, that gets you radius of 65. And that's what that. And if I put the game back on, this is what that looks like. This is how much area of effect you're getting. Just quickly do a map. As you can see, I am not reading what the mods are. And I'm summoning Nico because I need Nico's mission. Just 8 more. So as you can see, the clear is pretty fast. I see the shrine. I'm not going to click it because I don't want you thinking that I'm relying on the shrine for clear somehow. click one of these. Not reading that either. Click the bullet. Bane. Kill these things that showed up. Kill these. And click one of these options at random. Notice the strong box open by itself. That's one thing I really like about the open stuff when you cast spells. Essence of Hysteria, very nice. Another Sulfite. I'm not actually going to do Delve, I just want that Master's mission done. For the challenge. I'm going to skip that Harvest. I used to have Harvest spec, but now I currently don't. So, this doesn't seem worth it. Sorry if you blinked, but that was the boss. And now I click these shrines for fun. No massive shrine, sad. Yeah, let's do a boss. Caldera, I have to just hop to the end and do some portals. Skip past these. Portal. See where the enemy went, but it seems he's dead. Of course, I could be killing these mobs, but why would I? Oh, by the way, I have the Pantheon that makes me not take damage from burning grounds. That's why I'm not taking damage from this burning ground.
The weight of law! I am the law!
Oh, he's gained 46% of his maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. He could be pretty tanky. That was a joke, by the way. Now I use my portal scroll and I return home. Now, I would do a more difficult boss, so I guess I will. I've already had Maven witness me these. No Maven, just these. And have I done... Yep, it's still there. Okay, I'm going to turn off my mic for this. That was me doing Uber Shaper and Elder at the same time. What do you call Uber Shaper, Uber Elder now? Uber Elder? Uber Duber? Anyway, I killed that thing.